everyone, this is Steve Lynch, formerly of Autograph, now with my new project, Blue Neptune. Check out David and Ty at 8 o'clock on Thursday nights on the Nez Says Show. You got to check this out, okay? And it's on the David Nezzo YouTube channel, 8 p.m. Thursday nights. All right, cheers, everybody. See you there.
Hey everybody, we're live. It's Thursday night, November 12th. My God, it's November already.
I know.
And you're tuned into Nez Says, a place where musicians can come together and inspire each other to play guitar. We're having a wonderful show tonight. It's the Johnny Hiland record release night. His record came out a couple weeks ago, but we're going to release it here on Nez Says tonight, and you're going to hear the songs, at least parts of them. I have Ty with me, my faithful co-host, and I also have a new co-host. Meet my little tadpole. The tadpole. Anyway, while my thumb is healing, it's called tadpole. How you doing, Ty?
Hey, Dave. I'm so happy to be with you tonight. Happy Thursday, and I'm so excited about our guest tonight, a Nez Says alumni, a guitar hero among guitar heroes. We're so very fortunate to bring you Mr. Johnny Hiland tonight. Johnny is a performer and a session player, a teacher, and just one of the most generous, most humble people you could ever wish to meet. He has released an amazing new album. He's going to take us through it track by track tonight and explain how he concepted these tracks, how he created these tracks, and how he produced them. Can't wait to talk about it. As expected, the guitar work on the record is extraordinary. Straight from his lips, he's going to play you some chicken picking. He's going to play you some rockabilly. He's going to play you some blues with some rock and roll on the side. Please welcome the legendary Mr. Johnny Hiland. Johnny, welcome.
Hey, Johnny.
Well, Ty, hi, Dave. Man, what a great night, guys, and thanks so much for having me and for doing this. This is amazing.
Oh, we're so excited that you're here, and we're so excited that you have decided to share this music with all of us tonight.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, brother, this was a dream come true album for me, man. Of course, when this COVID-19 mess hit, it was a few months prior to that when when I was talking to my dear friend, Mr. Kenny Thurman, saying, hey, man, I want to build a blind man studio in my new home in Chathem, Virginia. And he said, boy, I can have you up and running in 3 hours. And I said, yeah, right, man. I'm legally away. And he said, brother, you do a few gigs, save up some money. We'll go shopping and we'll get you hooked up. And I'll be honest, boys, Kenny Thurman was not lying. He had me up and going. And he said, boy, I'm going to have you up and going. You'll be sending me my first MP3 in the first week. Well, little did he know, I sent him my first MP3 the next day. So I was hooked, man. I'll tell you what, it was amazing, the process that we went through. And the fact that he had enough faith in the blind guy to say, yes, you can do this. And so it's been about a year-long journey, really, for me. And of course, in amongst doing this entire record, we've been doing so many tracks for other folks all across the world that it's paid the light bill a time or two. So I've been pretty blessed by that. So to be honest, boys, I'm just as happy as I could possibly be. And this record is just it's really a dream come true. It's a record I've always wanted to do. And as I told you guys earlier, I could have just used these as demos, gone to Nashville, used my band, and cut the record like a typical Johnny Hiland record. But this record started meaning so much to me, and that I was able to play every instrument on it myself and record it right here in my studio in Chatham, that I was just like, you know what, man, I think my fans would dig this more than if I was to do the typical Johnny record. Let's give them something new and fresh right out of the studio here in Chatham, Virginia. I think it would be fun and it would be more meaningful. So that's what I did. Here's the Chatham sessions.
Well, we thank you for the Chatham sessions. I mean, one thing that you get is you get the jaw dropping guitar work of Johnny Hiland. I mean, from song 1 to song 15, and that's right, y'all. I said song 15. Johnny made a big
15.
record, and I mean, you get amazing guitar work, but there is so much. I can't wait to dive into the diversity on the record, the variety on the record. And there's a real, like you were just mentioning, there's a real organic nature to the content on the record. Very organic.
Well, it's right straight from my heart, and all the instruments I play right to all y'all. You know, it was the only way I knew to do it. And to be honest with you, the reason I say this record means so much to me, man, is during this COVID time, man, we don't go get acrylic nails done in the salon, man. We get the wife to paint them on. And so there were many times in making this record, I'd be right in the middle of a solo and boom, fingernail would pop off, and I'd be like, crap, you know. And try to play the solo with 2 fingers instead of 3, you know. But there was so many fun times in doing this record, and you know, I wasn't on a studio clock per se. I was on my own time, and I was having a blast doing this whole record. And, of course, while I was learning how to engineer on my own through this whole process. So yeah, pretty invigorating and a huge pile of work on myself. But yet I'm so tickled it's done, and I've already started Chatham Sessions Part 2.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, Johnny, you mentioned that you were in a more relaxed environment. You're in your home studio making this record, and it's very different than, say, being in a traditional studio and being on the clock. I've heard some artists say that clock drives creativity sometimes, that because you have a deadline, that it's really pushing you as an artist to be creative. So what was it like and I know that you're very accustomed to that environment. So what was it like in this instance where you had the ability to enjoy, you know, the opposite approach?
Well, I think it's really cool the way you asked that, Ty, and my answer is going to be kind of twofold. One, in the respect that it was amazing that if I had a nail pop off and I got really angry, I just shut the rig down and come back in the morning after Kimmy paints another one on, you know? I mean, it's as simple as that. I'm not on a studio clock where if a mishap happens, well, you shut the rig down and just try it again tomorrow, you know? And what a blessing that is, man. I mean, to be able to just go, I'm not feeling that today, you know? But then again, also doing tracks for other folks really, you know, I'm an artist, man, and I know how I am patience-wise. When I say, I got a new song in my head and I got to lay it down, I know what it is to wait for that track to get done and the process it takes in doing so. So anytime someone would hire me to do a full band track for them, I would get their song done that day and send it back to them so they had it. But with my own record, it was like I'd finish a full tune for somebody else, and then I'd work on some of mine, and I'd just be like, man, sometimes I was like, I'm just so tired, I just can't do any more today. So I'd shut it off and come back the next day, man, and that's really how this album came together.
You know, you're right. It really is a blessing that you can that it can be that organic, and that you know, that the end product, you know, comes from a very different place. So when you say it felt new, I guess it really did feel new from origination to all the way to completion, right?
Well, and you know, Ty, I obviously was sitting here on this studio rig going, if I hit the wrong button, am I really screwed? You know, what am I gonna if I hit the wrong button, am I gonna erase something that was great and have to do it over again? And there were times that happened. I mean, it was like those Homer Simpson moments, you know, where. But then again, Brother Kenny taught me. He said, "Son, up here in the corner is a edit. You can tap on the edit window up there with the mouse, and you can hit edit undo." And bring back what you just lost. And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
You know, because there was times I was spazzing out going, no, I can't believe. Matter of fact, guys, the first song on the album is called The Guitar Song. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, when I do the tapping part near the end of the song, Dave and Ty, both of you guys have heard it, so you know, there's a real high harmonic part that happens after the tapping or amongst the tapping.
Mm-hmm.
That was by happenstance. I probably couldn't recreate that again if I wanted to. So
A lot of happy accidents. There's always happy accidents.
I think, man, what it is I'm playing guitar now because I want to, not because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real big difference in your attitude and in how you feel when you can come down here in your pajamas and grab a cup of coffee and come down here and just start wailing on it, man, you know?
Yeah, sure.
I have the best wife in the world, man. She doesn't care. She crank it up, baby. Let her rip. And so I've had this house rocking at 8 in the morning sometimes. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Great.
Real quick, before we get into the first song, Headstock Harem in the chat says, a quick question for Johnny. Did he write, in layman's terms, love that song?
I did. Yes.
Very
In
cool.
fact, I think that's going to go on Chathem Sessions Volume 2.
Oh, cool.
That's
Yep.
nice. So shall we get into the record, shall we?
Yeah, Dave, let's say hello to everybody right before we jump into track 1.
Okay, go right ahead.
You want to do it?
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Let me get back to the beginning. Thunder Falcon is here. Joe Hervey, 84. Dwight Bailey. Ty Price is here. Hugh Caldwell is here. Thomas Santiago is here. Papa Blue. Hello, everybody.
Howdy do, howdy do.
Let's see. Dan of New Jersey is here.
Nice.
Let's see. Who else? Headstuck Harem is here. Richard Nesdall, my father, is here.
Nice. Hi, Dad.
Guitar Man 45 is here. Bill Richards is here. By the way, Bill, thank you for the kind words. He says, I look like I've lost a lot of weight. Thank you very much. Let's see. Fruitcake Tony is here. Brian Spalding.
Brian Spalding, great guitar player himself.
Nice.
And that's it at the moment. We have more people coming in. We'll say hello to everyone as they say hello to us.
Janice is here. Hey, Janice.
Oh, Janice Lala's here. Hey.
Howdy, howdy.
Cool. Very cool. Okay,
All right.
So do you have any more questions before we start this, Ty?
I can't wait to jump into this.
Okay, so the first song on the record, the Chathem Sessions, is called "The Guitar Song," and oh, hey, Get Your Bite, how you doing? Anthony Roscoe is here. Awesome. Okay, so let's start this song. I'm gonna play about 30 seconds of the song and let Johnny tell us about the song and the stuff they used to record it and all his inspirations behind it and whatnot. Here we go. And come on now. Now this is funny. Now this doesn't want to play.
That phone's not loving you, Dave.
Of course it doesn't want to play. I don't know why.
Because you're on the air.
No,
That's right.
it's all. Hang on a second. Let me get this back up here. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I turned the volume off. More. All right, so let's start this from the beginning.
My name is Johnny Hiland from Chathem, Virginia, and you know that I love to play. The boys over there are gonna play it loud and proud, 'cause that is the only way. Well, I'm gonna pick you some chicken picking guitar. I'm gonna pick you some rockabilly guitar. I'm gonna pick you some blues guitar with rock and roll on the side. Well, I'm gonna pick you some chicken picking guitar. I'm gonna pick you some rockabilly guitar. I'm gonna pick you some blues guitar with rock and roll on the side. That's right.
Wow.
That's killer.
Well, boys,
Wow.
here.
That's a killer. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you could send that to my address.
Dude, I love this Johnny Hiland model Kiesel, man. It is such a sweetheart. I've had this guitar since January, and actually got it for my 45th birthday from Jeff Kiesel.
Very nice.
So it's a Johnny model. It's one of the very first sparkles they made in my model. So, and it's kind of a Don Rich kind of thing, and I just love it. And also, Dave, I don't know if you can see this, brother, but it's got the new roasted neck on it.
Oh yeah,
that's nice.
Sure.
Yep, it's got the new roasted maple neck, and it's just sick, brother. I love this guitar so much.
So that was the guitar on the track?
That's the one.
What, Johnny, can I ask you a couple of questions about that? Because, well, let's talk. What do you string that guitar with? So when you're recording track one, what is that guitar strung with?
Brother, all my guitars are Elixir Nano Web 9 to 42s.
Okay.
All my guitars.
What about fret size of that guitar?
It's the Johnny Hiland model comes with medium jumbos. Medium jumbos and a 10-inch radius.
Yep.
And, man, this guitar is just it really is. Like I said, this one's kind of like a Don Rich thing, and it's very traditional in its style. But with the roasted neck and the sparkle finish, man, it was the guitar that I've just been in love with this whole year. And of course, it's my Johnny Hiland model, so how can I not, right? But at the same time, it was, I don't know, the song just reminded me of Robert's Western World. It reminded me of the days back with Don Kelly. And this guitar just suited that song to a T, man. And it inspired me to write this one.
Oh, so that's interesting. So that's interesting. The guitar, the way it sounded, inspired that piece of music.
Yeah, and really, the whole Kiesel family, man, really inspired me to write this whole album because, you know, I've started getting quite a little collection of them, you know, for you know, some that I've bought and some that I've, you know, was given when I joined the company. But I must say, Kiesel guitars are my favorite guitars I've ever owned in my life, and I can't get enough of them, man. I'm buying them now. You know, it's you know, when you love a guitar company that much, not only because they make amazing instruments, but it's the family. You know, Jeff Kiesel and the whole entire Kiesel family, all the guys that work in the factory. I mean, they build impeccable guitars every single day, man. And I'm just one of those artists that's really grateful and thankful for what they do. And I very much appreciate all of them. So to be able to use every single Kiesel guitar I own to do this record was just fun, man. It was inspiring. And so yes, this Johnny Hiland model, Silver Sparkle, she's the one that inspired this first song for sure.
That's amazing, John. And I want to point this out about, because you've told Dave and I this privately, and I'd like for everybody to know this, that the Johnny Hiland model Kiesel, you have been known just to go on their website and pull one right out of their stock. That the exact one that Dave and I can buy is the exact guitar that Johnny Hiland played.
Well, absolutely, man. And I got to be honest, half of my Kiesel collection I bought off the Guitars and Stock page. You know, that's the thing about Kiesel guitars too, guys, that everybody needs to know. If you buy a Johnny Hiland model and you order one direct, so you order it straight from the company, and they build your custom color and what specs you want and all that, it's no different than what I get. I get the same exact guitar that my Johnny Hiland model is the same as what you would get is the same that I have. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of that fact, man. It's artists don't really get any different kind of guitar. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's really important these days. Really important.
It is. And on top of that, man, what's really cool about it is I'm just as hooked on the Guitars and Stock page of KieselGuitars.com as any other fan of Kiesel guitars, dude. I'm on there all the time. And by goodness, if I find one I like, Hey, boys, send that on. I'm sending the PayPal, or whatever. I'm hooked on it, man. And if I find one I like, it's it. I got to have it.
That's what Dave does too. Dave
good at
finds one.
See, even when I talk about Kiesel guitars, I get foaming at the mouth, man. I can't help it. But no, I'm very, very thankful to be and blessed to be a part of the Kiesel family, man. And like I said, they are all family to me. And so writing this record was a lot of fun because it really kind of showcases every Kiesel that I own.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting to get into. So,
yeah.
Cool. So now, tell us about the pickups that are in the guitar that you recorded with.
Well, the Johnny Hiland model actually has Billy McGullough from Waymart, Pennsylvania, originally created the Johnny Hiland pickups. Did you lose me, boys?
No, I've still got you.
Okay. Well, Billy McGullough from Waymart, Pennsylvania, who ran Electric City Pickups, he designed these pickups in my guitar. And then actually, due to health reasons, Billy had to go out of business. So when the Hiland model was coming out, he actually called Jeff and said, look, Johnny would like you guys to build these pickups in-house. And so now Kiesel actually does them in-house along with, so as they build the whole guitar, they build my pickups as well. And, but man, the best sounding pickups I've ever had in my life. I definitely thank brother Billy McGullough, but I also thank Jeff Kiesel and his dad, Mark, for recreating them to sound exactly the way Billy and I designed them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. Now, Johnny, you mentioned earlier that you played all the instruments on this record.
I did, yes.
So, give us some insight about how you would go about tracking each song.
Well, honestly, Ty, it's funny, brother. I just start off with an acoustic guitar and do an acoustic rhythm track first to a click track. Then I laid the bass track on top of that. Then I put drums on that. And then I'll either put an electric rhythm or keyboard track next, followed by the other. And then, of course, I finish it off with whatever electrics need to go on there as far as lead tracks go. So it kind of stacks itself, And
awesome.
It's quite a process, I must say.
Awesome. So, the song is really about all these different styles of music that you seem to love, and
yes.
that's what you're unpacking for us in this song. I mean, you're unpacking a little bit of all of that.
Yes.
In all of these tracks. So, what came first, Johnny? Did the concept of the song come first, and then you build that musically behind it, or did you have the musical context and lyrically you built something from there?
I started out with that kind of knowing I wanted to do a song that was really Robert's Western World and Nashville based, like the old honky tonks, but yet still gave me room to do the Danny Gatton style thing that I love so much. And then, of course, the song, as I wrote the song lyrically, after just deciding it needed to be kind of a rockabilly thing, once the words came, then I thought, well, man, now that I've written this thing, I'm going to have to play all the styles in it. So that's how it came about. And it was, it was a little tricky because I'm like, man, how am I going to pull this song off live, because I would switch it up a bunch of stuff. So, but it'll be a lot of fun live irregardless, man.
I'm sure. I am sure it will.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay Hannon. Good to see you.
Hey, Jay. I'm having a little trouble, guys, with the audio over here. Everyone in the chat, just let me know if it's choppy or not. I'm not sure if it's YouTube or if it's StreamYard or if it's just in my ears. So please let me know if we're coming in loud and clear or if we're coming in choppy.
Cool.
How does it sound to you and Johnny? Are you guys hearing each other okay?
I'm fine, man.
Same. Yeah.
Okay. And then it might just be what's going on my screen because I'm having trouble hearing both of you. But it's, as long as you guys are hearing each other, then it'll probably sound fine on YouTube, which I'm not. As long as it sounds fine on YouTube, it's 5x5. Quentin James says it's A-OK. All right. So if there are no more questions, Can we go on to the next song?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The next song is called Get It.
Love that. Love that.
I had to get that last riff in. That
No.
riff was ridiculous. How good that was.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks so much. Well, actually, here's the guitar that was on that track, my brother.
Oh my God.
What a top.
This is my Kiesel Aries,
Oh boy.
and it is a beauty. I'm trying to get it in the shot for you.
You got it. It's right there.
It's
oh,
beautiful.
yeah. The beautiful
Papa Blue said.
top, Koa body.
Oh my God. Papa Blue says, who played drums? Was it programmed? And nope,
What?
Johnny Hiland himself played the drums on this record.
I did. Yes. Actually, Dave, I got to show you this too, brother. These are loom inlays on this fretboard.
Uh-huh.
So when you stand out in the sun for a few minutes, the whole fretboard lights up blue.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then of course the back of the neck is a 5-piece walnut and maple.
Yep.
So
Looks
she's
awesome.
a beauty, man. This is
Looks
my rock and roll workhorse. My good old Kiesel Aries, man. I love this guitar.
Does that have a tremolo on it?
It does. Yes, indeed.
Mhm. Wow.
Yep, it's got the Kiesel hip shot trim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's pretty sweet, man. It dive bombs like crazy.
And what pickups are in that guitar?
These are the Kiesel Lithiums, man, and these are kind of the go-to pickups for the Kiesel line. But I gotta say, man, they're hot to trot and they sound amazing. Plus, this guitar also offers a piezo system as well, so I can flip this switch and use this back knob as a blending in the acoustic pickup when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty sweet, man. I love this girl.
That's awesome.
Yep. So that's what played on Get It.
Now, Johnny, Get It, this highly melodic rock track that is, surprising. When you were sequencing the record, how did you decide that was going to be track 2?
I just, honestly, brother, I had 15 songs, so I was like, let's just put something totally different after each song. Like every song is going to be different.
From a listen, when I told you before that I listened to the record the first time, start to finish, and in one sitting, and it was. There are a lot of left turns, coming from song to song, which creates this really interesting listener experience. And
Right.
this is definitely one of my favorite tracks on the record. I've got to ask you, you're a hybrid picker, you're a chicken picker, you flat pick, thumb pick. When you're recording a track like Get It, does it change? Do you play differently when you're recording something like? Okay.
No, it's still the same thumb pick and 2 fingers. Yeah. Still the same picking method. Yeah. It just,
Very cool.
The style, stylistically things change, but to be honest with you, man, yeah, same right hand technique. And I just throw a few more arpeggios and a little finger tapping in there,
Yeah, it's really good.
But I will admit, man, I think the challenge for me now here's the funny story, guys. I'll give you all the skinny on this too. When I got done all the tracks for the album, Kimmy was typing it into CD Baby, and she actually typed in "Get It," but the song is actually called "Get It."
That's why I said "Get It."
Get
right.
it.
Actually called "Get It," but if you look in the listing, Kimmy wrote "Get It." So I got to laughing. She's like, "Baby, I'm so sorry." I said, "Honey, don't worry about it. It's all good."
But the funny thing is, and it's not funny, you being Southern, and I know how Southern people, how most of them talk, and their the way they enunciate.
Yes.
I automatically knew to say "Get It."
Right.
You already know to say that.
Well, and Dave, that's the funniest thing. Brother, I come from the state of Maine. I've just lived down here, in Nashville and now Virginia for 24 years, and it's rubbed off on me, man. What can I say?
No, there's nothing to say, and it's like
when I get pissed off though, I start talking like a Mainer again.
It's like me up here in the north saying water instead of water. Water. Can I have a glass of water?
Water. Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same thing.
Kimmy actually gets laughing. She'll say, she'll be introducing me to someone here in Virginia, and she'll say, "Hey Johnny, talk like from you're back in your hometown again." And I'm like, "What? Want to find out where mother and father are out in the dooryard?" Don't piss me off.
Awesome.
I'll come through the screen at you, by God. But, it's man, the Mainer will never leave me, brother, and I'm very proud to be from the state of Maine. But yeah, the old Southern drawl has slipped in over the past 20-some years, and I just can't help it, man.
That's so okay. You wear that Southern drawl well. Hey, we have a technique question for you, Johnny. Thunder Falcon says, "I can't hybrid pick to save my life. Any tips to improve my hybrid picking?"
Yeah, brother, it'd just be hard to answer without being able to plug in and show you.
Grow your fingernails.
How long are they?
No, grow them. Grow your fingernails.
Well, grow your fingernails would be one, but I would recommend you get acrylics on, man. Look how long mine are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they are.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have some length to them. And what I try to tell people is, get your fingernails done to the length of how far your pick hits the string.
Yep.
So, in other words, if you're holding your pick, or like in my case, I use a thumb pick. So, if I put my thumb pick on, how far does it hang down, when it hits the string? So, basically, when I tap my guitar with my fingernails and my pick, they're basically equidistant as far as how they hit the string. So that's why some people go, "Man, you got the longest fingernails, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that's how I play guitar, man. I need them." So,
Thunder Falcon, I'll also say that Johnny Hiland's got some educational content on a website called TrueFire.
Yes.
And you can take a deep dive into a lot of great technique on that site from Johnny.
On top of that, TrueFire.com will get you all my 10-gallon guitar courses, but I do a Facebook Live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and so I do actually show a lot of technique and stuff, and you're actually welcome to ask questions on that as well. So just go to Johnny Hiland Official every Sunday, man, and or every other Sunday, and catch me on there.
And talking from experience, he will absolutely answer every question that's asked. He and his wife are amazing at answering and getting in touch with everyone that says something on his stream. It's crazy. He's one of the only guys that does this thing that pays very close attention to the people that are watching him. So Tune into that every Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Well, Dave and Ty, both you guys know, man, every person that's watching right now, every person that's on Facebook or comes to a show, or buys your record and supports you, man. I mean, I would not be the artist I am today without the support. So I just thank everybody watching and both of you for having me on tonight. This is, I mean, it just means so much to me that after all these years, I'm still a part of this industry and able to release records and have fun Johnny Hiland style, you know? So thanks for letting me do that, guys.
Oh,
Well,
no
we're, as we're glad you're here, Johnny. I mean, as big fans of your, creative output, we're really glad you're here.
Well, I'll tell you from being a legally blind guy from the state of Maine and wondering what was going to happen in my life, man. I mean, the good Lord answered that question when he blessed me with the gift to play all kinds of instruments. But it does take a lot of people to show you support and to help you along the way, man. So everybody that's watching, thank you. If you do go buy the Chathem sessions on iTunes or Apple Music or wherever music is sold digitally these days, just know that I appreciate you. I really do. It means a lot to me.
Well, it's certainly an album, it's certainly an album to turn players on. I mean, there's so much to get turned on to with this record because, like we said in the beginning, it is very diverse. I mean, we just heard 2 tracks. We went from a rockabilly track to a rock track. I mean, there's so much diversity and creativity on this record. There's a lot to unpack.
Well, Todd, the funniest thing is, man, I giggle about this record a lot in that I kind of do what Steve Vai told me not to do way back in 2003 and 4.
Oh, I bet I know what you're going to say.
He always told me, son, pick a lane and drive. If you're going to be a country boy, be a country boy. If you're going to rock out, rock out. But pick a lane and drive. And to be honest with you, man, I have just never been able to do that. I love too many genres of music. I cut my teeth on wanting to be a Nashville session guitarist, which I did become. And I can't help it that I love all these different styles, man. And so I guess you could say I'm not as well known in the industry because I didn't really take Vai's advice. But at the same time, man, I'm just doing what I love to do. And I'm just thankful for the folks that dig it and just go out and pick it up, And
I really like how wide your lane is, Johnny. I mean, I really appreciate the width of your lane.
It's pretty wide open, I must say. But you can't impede fun, Ty. I mean, that's just
I agree. Yeah,
so
I agree.
Whatever's inside you musically, man, you just got to get out, and that's just what I did on this record.
I hear you.
So the name of the record is called the Chathem Sessions, and we played 2 songs already. And the next song we're going to play is it's a cover, and it's an old time blues song.
Yes.
And here it is. It's called Big Boss Man.
Awesome.
Again, killer.
One of my favorite tracks. Yeah.
You know, that's a song, boys, that I do in the show. I've done in my show for, the last 10 years or so. And I finally had fans going, gosh, man, would you put that on a record? And so I did. I did it for them. And but it's been one song that I love doing live, and we've done it, like I said, for a long time. And it's just a song that's kind of become a staple in my show, you know. And so I just had to put it on here, man. That was fun.
Oh, it's got great swing. You know, you're getting. I want to share some of these comments with you.
Sure.
Antoine Heath says Johnny's a class act. Papa Blue says blues is my favorite. Guitar Man says Johnny has a lot of Brian Setzer in him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What gets me really quick is that you do all those bends and all those steel guitar chops with no B bender or G bender. It's amazing.
That's right. I've had B benders in the past, but I've grown to find, man, that you end up forgetting all the chops that you learned because you're learning how to use that. So it's like I just had to put it away, man, and say no more, man. I'm just gonna go back to playing a regular, non-benderized guitar, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
I do love the sound of a B bender though, and of course, Jimmy O'Lander, Marty Stewart, Ricky Skaggs, and Steve Warner, all the guys that I loved growing up, all had B benders.
Yeah.
But frankly, man, as much as I loved having one and using one, I just started saying, man, I'm forgetting all my regular chops. So I just had to do away with it.
Thunder Falcon asked, Johnny, are your solos worked out or are they improvised?
No, man, all improvised, brother. That's the one thing that's cool about a Johnny Hiland record is before I get to go out and play these songs live, I got to relearn my own solos. That's the truth too, man. I tell you, I mean, it's even funny, man, because live, I've had to literally go back and learn some of my instrumentals to play live because I never play the same thing twice half the time. So frankly, man, it's hard for me to get ready to go out on tour because it's relearning my own stuff, So, but with this album, man, a lot of the songs are a little more, I guess, a little more me than anything else I've ever done. So hopefully it won't be as bad on me with this album. So we'll see.
That's when you are relearning this for the live environment. Have you ever sat back and said, "Wait a minute, what did I just record?" Or is the live environment first and foremost saying, "Okay, well, I'm not going to track anything that I can't do live," or do you just kind of is your process more, I'm just going to track what I want to track at this moment and I'll figure it out later? How does that all work for you?
No, honestly, Ty, for me, brother, I've always toured with a 4-piece band. So, but then again, I mean, when you're making an album, you're like, okay, I don't really want to put a lot of, like there's songs on here which, fiddle and steel and all kinds of great stuff could have been put on there. But unfortunately, I was like, well, I can't deliver that live, so I'm not going to do that, And I just felt it would be wrong of me to have the instrumentation on the record but not be able to do it live. And I guess that's from me just growing up loving Ricky Skaggs and guys like that, man, that when you heard their show live, you're thinking there's no way they're going to be better than they were on their record. And my dad always used to say that. And then, of course, he instantly became a Ricky Skaggs nut like myself after hearing Ricky live because he did live top his albums, which is amazing because Ricky's albums are incredible.
Yes, they are.
But so to be honest, man, I'm just like, man, my band really consists of rhythm guitar, bass, and drums, and sometimes a keyboardist. So really, I'm like, man, I'll put keys, rhythm guitar, bass, and drums, and lead, and I'm pretty much going to stick to that.
Awesome.
Because I know I can deliver that live.
Right on. So, Dave, we have a super chat. Boner Jams, thank you so much.
Right on.
Thank you so much for that. I hope you have a great weekend too. He hasn't seen something this sexy since the winter of '94. That was a long time ago.
Good gracious.
Hope everyone is doing well. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Boner James.
I gotta apologize, guys. I'm having some trouble on my side, and I keep on being thrown off. My internet is choppy, so please forgive me. We'll keep this going as long as we possibly can. I'm sure it'll be fine on Ty's and on Johnny's end, but I'm having a little bit of trouble here today, so please forgive me.
It's all good, Dave.
It is, man. And just to let everybody,
yeah.
I used the Silver Sparkle Johnny model on Boss Man. So
Was that going to be your go-to guitar for most of this record?
Well, it really, man, I wouldn't know. I mean, the Johnny model, yes, is the go-to for anything I do. But like I said, I had so much fun on this record with all my Kiesels, so it was just depending on the song as to which guitar I grabbed at the moment.
Good stuff. One of my favorite tracks is up next, track 4, Jenny, Dave.
Yeah, Jenny. Jenny's the next track, and we'll play that right now.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thank you, brother. I love that song, I must admit.
What are you using in terms of amplification, Johnny?
Well, actually, man, I wished I had a way to flip the camera and show you all my amp rig. It's right behind me here. But I'm using a Fat Jimmy Jefferson 100 head and an Avatar 212 cabinet with Celestion G12K100s in it.
Nice.
And of course, when you guys hear Jenny, this is the guitar that was on Jenny.
Wow.
My Kiesel SH550.
That's beautiful.
She is a sweetheart, man. Seafoam green.
Love it.
Yeah,
love
man.
it. I love the inlays.
I do too, man. This guitar is really just there's quite a little story behind this guitar too, guys. But I'll share that with you privately one day. Essentially, I took this to Chet Days, and I said, guys, I said, Jeff, build an SH550 that looks really rockabilly, man. And of course, this is what he built, and he knew that I loved maple necks. So essentially, the neck itself is mahogany, and trying to get it to where you can see the neck. But it's mahogany, but the front of it, of course, is maple with black block inlay. So I just love this guitar so much, man.
That's very cool. And it's a great track. Great sound.
Well, thank you so much, man. But yeah, now guys, the story of Jenny, Jenny was the girl that did my acrylic fingernails in Nashville. And she was a little bummed out when I was leaving Nashville because, she'd done my nails for a lot of years and got to know me and Kimmy real well both. So So I wrote that song for her as kind of a, kind of a little gift for all the amazing work she did for me, because when you're playing as much as I did in Nashville, you needed to have acrylic nails that were going to stay on and work for you. So she was definitely the pro for sure. So I had to write a song for her. Jenny Trang in Nashville at Modern Nails on Nolensville Road.
What an awesome gesture to do that.
Well, I tell you what, brother, she kept me going. She really did, man. I mean, there was times I'd run in right before a gig. Jenny, help! My nails fell off. My nail broke. Sit on down. And she'd just squeeze me in somehow or another, man. She always got me in and fixed me up before a gig or before a session or whatever the case may be, if I had an issue. Which most of the issues were never from what Jenny did. It was always grabbing an amp the wrong way, and I've actually bent nails right backwards just trying to throw an amp up on the stage. And
Ow, I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
Wow, that hurts.
But yeah, man, but here again, it's funny, man. I had to write her a song because she had done my nails so many years, and of course there were only 2 people, man, in 22 years that did my nails. It was Jenny Trang that I wrote this song for, but then there was a gentleman on Charlotte Pike named Van, and I called him Van Nailen.
That's awesome.
But he ended up having rotator cuff surgery and wasn't able to continue to do nails. So, and of course, I married my lovely wife, and we moved on to Nolensville Road. So that's when I met Jenny. So she did my nails for about 15 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long
So
time.
Christopher Davis in the chat says Costa Rica in the house.
Nice.
Love the album. He says, love the album, Johnny. You're the coolest.
Oh, thank you. And Dave, I have to say too, brother, it's amazing that you're actually playing this album on your phone because, dude, this is the first Johnny Hiland album that has not been printed in disc format.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I am really just, people are going, man, when are you going to print it, dude? Print it, make, sell discs. The fact is, man, people do not buy CDs anymore.
They buy songs, I know. And, damn the millennials.
It's so hard for
Millennials.
me to do new thing. So
I know. People are lazy.
Phone, brother, that's amazing.
People happen to be lazy and they don't have the time to listen to whole records anymore.
Or read the album jacket.
Right. They don't want to do that.
I
They
miss
want to
that.
hear their favorite song, and that's
I
it.
miss the liner notes.
I do too, brother. I really do.
A couple of comments. Brian
the kid
Spalding says, I'm sorry, John.
That's all right.
Brian Spalding says, Chet Atkins would be so proud of you, Johnny.
Oh,
In response to Jenny right there. Joe Hervey loves the color, loves the maple neck of the 550. Getcha Bite, that's a cool name, by the way.
Love
He
it.
says, I went to Dallas Guitar Show to see Yngwie Malmsteen. On my way leaving in the parking lot, I heard guitar that simply floored me. Stood in 100-degree heat till the end. My first time hearing Johnny.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Cool story, man.
Yeah.
So much.
So the
Cool
next...
story.
Those
Go
Dallas
ahead, Johnny.
guitars are fun, man, but it is blistering hot there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. And I may be moving back there. Yikes. So the next song on the record, the Chathem Sessions, is called Honky Tonkin' Guitar Man. And here it goes.
Well, I was born and raised on Chet Atkins and Jerry Reed. James Burton, Don Rich, Danny Gatton, and Albert Lee. Well, I love country guitar and I knew what I wanted to be.
Wait a second. You gotta hear that. We gotta all hear that again because that verse, the lyrics on that verse were killer. We gotta hear it again. Awesome.
Well, I love country guitar and I knew what I wanted to be. So I packed up my things and moved to Nashville, Tennessee. So I could become a real honky-tonky guitar man. In barroom boot camp in the place where it all began. Well, I formed my own style and I put together my own band. Oh, yes, I did. Then I became known as the honky-tonkin' guitar man. Now I'm gonna show you.
That's awesome. I do have something to say real quick before we get into this.
Yeah,
Joe
man.
Harvey says that he hears a little Jimmy Page. Sorry if he's wrong. It's okay. It's cool that you hear that. But personally, Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin is amazing. Always one of my favorite bands. But Jimmy Page can't even tie Johnny Hiland's shoelaces, man.
No,
Sorry.
Chris.
Sorry.
Oh,
Just calling it how I see it.
Oh, Lord. Well, I do love me some Jimmy Page, man.
I love Jimmy Page too.
But, you know, it's funny, guys. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever heard the old story, but as I grew to love and know Albert Lee as a friend, it was amazing because he and Clapton and Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page all grew up in the same area. And they all played in the same band every 6 months so that they could borrow the band's Les Paul and play, you know. And so Albert Lee was kind of a part of that lineage that was Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page as well. So Albert Lee definitely became the country boy of that bunch, but I'm sure glad he did. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So I actually do think there is a Jimmy Page connection to all of this, guys. I really do. And so, yeah, I think it's just really cool, though, that Albert Lee, being one of the best country guitar players that ever walked, you know, grew up around those guys and kind of grew up with them. So I just think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about Albert Lee's playing is that he was so good and so good at muting strings without actually muting strings, because when he picks, he doesn't mute strings right-handed. He's just so clean that he picks freely and is able to hit every note cleanly and not hit any other note or any other guitar noise. He's just that good.
Albert and I have a video we did at the Music Man party back when I was with Music Man Guitars. I got to jam with Albert. And, of course, we played together a few other times, but I got on stage with him. And so you can go on YouTube and check that out, man. You know, just type in Johnny Hiland and Albert Lee, and we had a really good time. Daniel Donato was with us that night as well. So
that doesn't hurt, ever. Yeah.
But guitar, man, is really, man, that's kind of like my life story, you know, just talking about leaving Maine and going to Nashville and then living there 22 years and everything changed. So I moved to Virginia and just for all you folks watching, Nez says right now, there may be a Johnny Hiland trivia question coming up on Facebook. Just saying, hint, hint. Which is the only song on the Chathem sessions that Johnny Hiland actually mentions Kiesel guitars? It's this song.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. You may win a prize into Facebook.
There you go.
There you go.
Christopher Davis says John Mayhall and the Yardbirds sure pumped out the guitars. They sure did. The Yardbirds are responsible for the Trinity, right? Trinity that Johnny just mentioned, and you're right. You gotta put the lone country guy in the conversation too, right? I mean,
right.
He deserves to be there too.
Oh, Albert's just amazing, man. But you know, here again, that song was kind of more you know, had a little bit of a Stones flavor, but yet I was like, man, if I had to write a song that let somebody know who I was without me actually just sending them to their website to read my bio, this song would be the one I'd play them. And because it just explains it all.
It does. Here's a cool comment, Johnny, from Brian Spalding, who I mentioned before is a really, really good player, very talented player. He says, I played on the same bill with Johnny at Yulee John Ross Sky Academy show, Musicians Institute.
I knew I had heard your name somewhere. I just couldn't
Early in 2006, 5 hours of jamming madness, Johnny blew us away.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know about that, my friend, but that was really a good time. I enjoyed that show, and I love Uli so much, man. I really do. And so if you were there, brother, and you were partaking in that madness ring of fun that we had that day, my hat's off to you, brother. It's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that was a ring of madness, man, on that stage. That was pretty wild.
So Johnny, we've talked about the first handful of tracks so far. They're all very different. The common denominator being the guitar work on them are just outstanding, fantastic, extraordinary. All the songs are very melodic. Which of those five do you tend to gravitate toward first? Which of those five would be one of your favorites?
Probably the guitar song that I started the album off with, just because if you wanted to find out, what genres Johnny Hiland plays that he has fun with, then that's, See, it's funny, man. Honky Tonk Guitar Man really talks about my life and me singing the song, singing the story. But yet the guitar song actually is me really playing and showing what I do,
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard for me to put a favorite on those first five. I think really from a technical standpoint, I'm really proud of Jenny because she's such a lady that I wanted to write a great song for her. But, because she really did help me through all those years, man, keeping those acrylics on. And so when the song came out, man, I was just like, yes, cool. But I don't think Jenny's actually heard this track yet, so I'm going to have to send it to her.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
And that's Dave. Excuse me, Johnny. I apologize. He is his internet just crashed. I need to let him know that we're still on, and everybody that's joining us, I apologize for the technical difficulties. But I have this, and I have a copy of the record, and I'm not Nesdal, but I'm going to give it a try in terms of playing this next track.
Right on.
Live. Oh, and I don't. There he is. That's perfect timing, Dave.
Dave, you're Superman, dude.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It happens, right?
It happens, brother. And it's funny. Ty was just getting ready to attempt to play the next song, man.
I was just going to go right to the next song, Dave.
Got it. By the way, this is Nathan's Blues.
Sounds amazing.
Did we lose him, Ty?
I think we did. So it is a blues track. Johnny, has that been around a while, or is that something brand new?
Oh no, it's brand new, man. I to be honest with you, man, there's a great story. Did you lose me too?
Unfortunately, I did lose you, but I still have your audio.
Well, that's cool, man. At least I can kind of explain the song, I guess.
Yeah, and I apologize. I apologize to everyone watching, and that you've got me on your big screen. I don't have access to the command center that Dave does, so I do not have the ability to go back split screen with Johnny. So again, I apologize to all of you watching.
And I guess you can still hear me though, right?
I can. I've got you, Johnny.
Well, man, I teach a lot of guitar, Ty, as you know.
Yes.
And I was giving a
There we
lesson
are.
one day. All right, we're back.
I'm
We're
so
back.
sorry, guys. I wish I had a reason why this is happening. It said on the top that I'm not near my internet, and I'm right next to it. So I don't know what's going on. I apologize.
Well, actually, Ty, the funny thing is, bud, I was giving a lesson to a gentleman named Nathan. And he actually is an older gentleman that's a Pentecostal preacher, and we had an amazing lesson. Because the first thing he said to me was, Mr. Hiland, I love what you do, but I'm not here to learn chicken picking. I like playing blues. But I want to know how you play so melodically. And I said, well, man, I said, let me grab a guitar and we'll dive into some blues and have some fun, and I'll show you how I'm doing it. Well, all of a sudden, man, that melody came out as I was teaching him how I did what I did on the blues stuff. And so after the lesson was over, I said, Nathan, you've become a dear friend through this lesson. And I said, in fact, I'm going to go down and take the melody I just showed you, finish the song off, and put it down for you, and write the song for you. And so Brother Nathan Enos is his last name. I wrote that song for him. And in fact, Dave, here is the Kiesel Bolt Classic I was telling you about, brother.
Oh, look at that.
Very nice.
Oh, man, that's pretty.
And it's an all mahogany body. It's got an ebony fingerboard with the white diamond inlay.
Very
And
nice inlay.
I don't know if I'm going to hit my desk here or not, but it's got the older school
Headstock?
Yeah. And it's got
There
the
it is.
old school headstock, though.
Yeah. So how heavy is that guitar, that being it's mahogany?
Oh, man, about 7 pounds. But it's the cool thing is, Dave, I've never had an S-style guitar without a trem. It's a hardtail.
Oh, yeah. So it's very telly-like.
In a way, yeah. In a way. But, man, the back of the neck, though, brother, is maple and black limba. It's a 5-piece.
Mm-hmm.
But this guitar screams when you play in the blues, brother. And what happened was, after giving that lesson to Nathan, what was funny is I had my birthday, as I was telling you, back in January, and Brother Kenny Thurman, who helped me get this whole studio going, bought me an old TS9 tube screamer. So I was into like this whole Stevie Ray, thing, wigging out about my new TS9 that was actually a mid-90s TS9. He got me one of the cool ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
So I was just having fun with that pedal one day and giving that lesson to Nathan. And so I literally came right down after his lesson and wrote Nathan's blues and sent it to him.
Amazing.
So Nathan actually has the original board track for that. And, of course, now he's got the album, too. So I'm just tickled to pieces about that.
What an amazing story. Take a lesson from Johnny Hiland, and the student inspires the teacher, and the teacher cuts the track. I mean, isn't that cool?
I was teaching him how I played melodic blues. We happened to actually start writing it in the lesson. And I just said, Nathan, I'm sorry, brother. I'm going to cut this lesson a little short. I'm going to go write you a song right now. By using the same melody that you learned. So,
Dave, can you believe this? I mean,
I can't believe it. That's insane. How often does that happen?
It was so fun, man. And I swear, man, actually, boys, here's the crazy thing, too. I sent him the track when it was actually mastered and done, and just like 2 days before the Chathem sessions got released. And I didn't hear back from him. And I was like, oh my goodness, man, what's going on? Did he even get it? And then like 3 days later, after the album came out, he wrote me an email and said, my goodness, man, this is the most amazing gift ever. he said, dude, you just lightened my spirits. I've been suffering with COVID-19, and that's why I haven't had any chance to get to any of my emails. But he said, man, I'm back home from the hospital and I'm doing better. But he said, man, you just made my whole day, dude. That was so cool.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
What a great man, and I know I'll be friends with him till the day either one of us go home. So I love Brother Nathan. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome story.
Cool. So
All right,
the next song on the record is called "Prove Me Wrong."
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at, Ty? The next song?
It's a good song.
All right, here we go. Hope I can stay on for this.
I don't guess I could blame you, girl, for leaving. You don't deserve the things I've put you through. Well, I've probably given you a million reasons to walk right out on me and say we're through. But you're always still standing there beside me, through the good times and through the bad times too. But even when my world falls down around me, you're always right there to see me through. Every time I think that you don't love me, and the feelings in your heart for me are gone. But every time I think that you don't care, you always prove me wrong. I know sometimes I take
One of the more nostalgic country songs for me. You know, I mean, I listen to that, Johnny, and, you know, it takes me back to, you know, being younger and being at my grandparents and listening to, you know, some of our country heroes, really.
That's, you know, it's funny, Ty. That's exactly what I wanted in this song, man. My buddy Keith Driver, who's been a dear friend, known him all the way back since the late '90s in Nashville. He wrote that song, and it's funny being best friends. He called me up one day and he said, "Hiland, you're doing a new record?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why ain't you putting the Keith Driver song on there?" I was laughing. I said, "Well, what you got, boy?" And he said, "What are you looking for, man?" I said, I want something as country as a possum fart, man. That's what I want."
Possum fart. That's what I want.
Yeah. So it's funny, man. He sent me "Prove Me Wrong," and I went, "Good gracious, brother, I've got to cut that song." So that was one of the ones that I didn't end up writing, but boy, I wished I had it because it's a great, great song.
Really good song. I love all the fills in it too. It's so reminiscent of all that older country music that I love so much.
Well, and you know, Ty, that's the one I was talking about, brother, where I wished I, could have put some steel guitar and twin fiddles in there. But to me, man, I thought I can't deliver it live like that. So, and of course, even Keith was like, "Man, I wish you could have thrown some fiddle and steel in there." But the fact is, I told him the same thing. I said, "Brother, I can't reproduce that live if I did that." And I said, but then again, it also takes me back to the days I played with Don Kelly at Robert's Western World, and I was the only lead guitarist in the band, or only lead musician in the band. So frankly, I would have played it that way had I done it at Roberts. So I mean, it just worked out perfectly.
I love it. I love that track.
Well, thank you, man. I'm real proud of that one too. And way to go, brother Keith. That song rocks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Davis says this album is really diverse in styles and tones. Johnny really put his heart and soul into this album.
I did.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, he did.
And you know, that song in particular, I wasn't really listening to the guitar. I was listening to the drums because, you know, we all know Johnny Hiland is one of the premier guitar players on the planet. But when you think that he did all the instruments on the song, on the record, and he's not playing a drum, he's not playing, you know, he's not pre-recording drums on a machine. He's
No.
actually playing drums, and he's playing them like a drummer would play them. And it's just unbelievable that his timing and his meter is that impeccable. And you know, you would think that he was a drummer.
Actually, Dave, I'll show everybody if I can get this iPad up over my head here, brother. This, well, if I get my hand away from the camera, this right here is my Roland V drum kit. It's TD17 KVXs, and that is actually what I played all the drums on this album. So,
Sounded great.
you know, and the reason people have asked me, they're like, Johnny, why would you go with a V drum kit, dude? And I said, because, man, I moved to a new town, new people, real quiet lifestyle, country lifestyle. But I said, man, I'm still an old, you know, honky-tonk barroom ripper. And I said, I like to get up and cut at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I dang sure can't play a live acoustic kit, which I've got over I couldn't be playing live drums at 3 in the morning. So I said, man, I am going to have to do something to be able to feed my need at 3 a.m. So thanks to all the great folks at Roland, man, and Boss. They've been so wonderful to me. All the piano parts that are on that record and keyboards was done on a Roland Go piano. And, you know, just a little tiny keyboard, man, 61-key keyboard. And most people are like, you did all the keyboards on a Roland Go piano? That's like their newest thing for beginners. I'm like, yeah, but most of the time I just pad chords. It isn't like I need a, you know, $3,000 keyboard. And of course, Brother Kenny kind of laughed. Kenny Thurman said, well, boy, that's what EQs are made for inside your system.
That's
EQ
right.
that thing to make it. So really, man, Boss and Roland really helped me get everything I needed in order to really create this record as far as drums and other things. And before we're done, I'll share my bass with you. I've got a Kiesel PJ4 that I just love, and I played all the tracks on that bass too.
Very cool.
Oh,
Very cool. So the next track is called Together Forever, and I suppose you wrote that for your wife, Kimmy?
I did. We actually celebrated 15 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And with COVID-19 going on, guys, it isn't like we were going out buying gifts for each other. And I thought, you know, what can I do for my baby girl on our anniversary? I was just racking my brain, you know, but after 15 years, I've bought her tons of jewelry and candy and whatever, you know, but she is truly the best wife in the world and the most supportive wife ever. And I tell you guys, I don't know how the good Lord makes this happen, but when you meet the right lady that comes into your life, you love her more and more every single day, and you don't know how that happens.
I know how that is.
So I thought, you know, every single album I've done, except for the first one, another trivia question. Good stuff, man. But the only Johnny Hiland album that doesn't have a song for Kimmy is the very first record I did with Steve Vai's label, because we weren't
I
married
bet you I
yet.
know why. There you go. I was just going to say, because you weren't together.
Yep. And so from Loud and Proud on, Kimmy has had a song on every record.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, this one was just, I guess, you know, because we were kind of stuck at home, you know, it was like, well, you know, honey, I could order you something online, but I don't know if it's going to fit. I don't know if you're going to like it. So instead of taking the chance, I'd rather just write you a song. And so she didn't know a thing about it. We did a live Facebook feed on our anniversary, and I played it for her then, and she got to crying, and so it just meant so much to me, and so I had to put it on this album.
Awesome. So would you like us to
great
play
story.
the full track?
Oh, you can play as much as you like, brother.
All right. Well, this is for Kimmy. there's one thing I have to talk about on that song. The turnaround on the chorus is a very Beatles vibe.
Ah, you caught that.
You're
didn't
right,
you,
Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good observation.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's I think I kind of stole that from She Was Just 17. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
They had that chord in there, man.
Yeah. Awesome song. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, brother. And I tell
Love
you, I always, when I write a song for Kimmy, I just hope and pray that she likes it, you know. And
Well, how could
this
you not like that one? That song's amazing.
Well, thank you, brother. And I was just so tickled that she loved it, and it worked out so well for our anniversary too. And so I'm always proud to write songs for my baby girl, and I'm sure she's watching right now, guys. She's in Gatlinburg right now with some family. So miss you, baby girl. Get home as soon as you can. This old blind boy's missing you. The house is too empty. But thank God I got Dave and Ty with me tonight, so I'm good.
We're happy to be with you, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Always happy. You can you know what? If you ever just want to do this, all you have to do is call me, call Ty, and we'll set up a session and just do this. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
We're doing
Johnny,
it live.
a 64 T-Bird has a question. He says, Johnny, what straps do you use?
Man, I actually use straps made by Long Hollow Leathers in Nashville. My dear friend Phil makes them out there in Franklin, Tennessee. But I've just recently got into Walker and Williams straps. Man, I love them. I really, really love them. And I'm sure you guys have seen as I've brought each guitar over, there's a different different strap. But Long Hollow Leathers and Walker and Williams.
Didn't you just give a strap away last week?
I did. That was my newest Walker and Williams, man, and I did. I gave it away during my record release party on my Facebook page. So,
well, since we're on the subject of straps, we do have to mention our sponsor, Jody Head Straps. They're gorgeous. She makes custom straps. She makes all kinds of stuff.
She does.
Yeah, and for stuff that's high end, it's not terribly expensive. She makes affordable stuff as well. Her turnaround time is very quick. Just contact her at jodyheadstraps.com and get yourself a strap. It's beautiful stuff.
Well, I'm not.
I'll at some point show one of the ones that I have here so people can see what she does.
Yep. Good.
Yeah, buddy.
Are you guys hearing me? Because I'm losing
Yep.
you guys. All right. Okay. Good. Very good. I got you.
Yeah, actually, Dave, I actually get her. I'm on her email newsletter list.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I love Jody Head Straps too, man. I just don't own too many of them, but I did get her to start sending me emails, so I'm glad of that.
Well, I'll make sure that I'll tell her you said hi. I'm in touch with her a few times a week, so yeah, we'll we'll get you to say hello.
Yep.
Yeah, she makes good stuff, man, no doubt.
Actually,
All right.
All right. So the next song is called "Bottled Flu." Check
Great
this out.
title.
Time to do it again, but my body doesn't want to move. I stayed out too late and sealed my fate with a fine cut of blues. One more day of being a slave and I can do
Yeah, that doesn't suck.
That's a fun one. That's a fun song. Now, guys, that is a Kenny Thurman original right there, boys. Mr. Kenny Thurman
Is it?
just hooked me up with all this great studio stuff and got this blind man recording. It was funny, guys, because after we got this studio going and Kenny found out I could play all these instruments, we get together and hang, and he'd teach me some stuff, about recording and what I need to do. Like, hey, boy, I got your last tune. You need to make sure you bring your master stereo out up, to 5 or 6 under, and then bring your tracks down. And here's how you do this, that, and the other. Well, then, of course, after all the learning stuff, we picked some guitar. Well, little did I know, Kenny Thurman is known as one of the best sound men in the world. He's been on the road with everyone from Vince Gill to Mark Chestnut to Mike Henderson and the Blue Bloods, Jamie O'Neill, and he's been out with Phil Vassar for the last 10, 11 years, and, of course, worked for the Grand Ole Opry. He's been around for a long time. And I had no idea, man, that he was a songwriter, too. So when he started singing me Bottle Flu, man, I said, doggone it, boy, there's another song I got to cut. I love that thing, and I don't even drink. But I love the song. I love the song.
Yeah. Great song. Pretty quick. That's the that's the song that gets everybody to a dance floor, in a honky tonk, right?
I think the cool thing about songs like that, man, is especially if you're an instrumental guitarist like me, you got to have songs like that in your show, man, that will get people on the dance floor. Because, after hearing 2 or 3 instrumentals, people are going, oh, I'm just teasing. But no, it's funny though. But an instrumental show, you got to have songs like that to get people moving and get their feet tapping and stuff like that, man. That's what it's all about.
That's a feel-good song for sure.
It is, bro. He can sure write a good song too, man. I was tickled to be able to cut that one. So thank you, brother KT.
Yep.
I'm back.
Now, did you and Kenny? Now I know y'all worked on this album together. Were you guys ever in the same room working on the record, or did y'all do it all remotely?
Nope. Yeah. It's funny at the end of the record when Kenny was mixing. What he did is he went through and mixed every song, and then, of course, as I produced the album, I went over to his house a couple of times, and we got the same studio set up. So I sat there and was like, yeah, man, I want to hear more of this, less of that. Can we pan this a little hard, a little harder? Can we do this, do that? And, here again, man, it was, I think that's really the only time, unless, of course, I had a snafu, man. Sometimes you just start recording and your system shuts down on you and you're like, uh-oh, what happened? Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to call Kenny and go, dog bite, son, I hope that thing's saved. I hope a backup's saved. He's like, well, man, I got you covered, brother. You're all good. Yeah. So sometimes he had to come over to help fix a few things and kind of, get me set back up if something went down. But for the most part, no, man, it was all, it was all just getting together to have fun. And as I was learning from him, I'd do a couple of tracks and send them to him. And then he'd go, hey, boy, you might want to do this and do that. And then, of course, we'd get together and go eat and then pick or something,
Oh, fun.
And, of course, there's not a lot of going to eat these days, but we still get together and play guitar and have fun. And he's still teaching me things. I'm sure I'll be learning how to do this for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. So I got the bug.
Taylor 315's got a question that I know that you're going to love to answer, Johnny. He says, wow, phenomenal playing. Hey, Johnny, are your Kiesel guitars just as good as the previous guitars you played?
Well, man, as everyone knows, I was playing Music Man guitars beforehand, and I got to say, guys, Kiesel guitars are definitely in a league of their own. And the reason I say that is because it's phenomenal that they do not have a dealer market. You basically buy a guitar right from their website, or you call the 858 Guitars and order the guitar of your dreams, really, if they make it. And I'm sure they make something right along the lines of what you'd want. Especially with all the artist models and regular models that they make, you'll find something you'll drool over for sure. But what is so amazing is the quality and craftsmanship that they put into these guitars I have not seen anybody better in the business. And of course, everyone knows I was with Fender, PRS, Music Man, and now Kiesel. But I swear to God, folks, I'll be buried with a Kiesel guitar. I am so in love with what they do. And the fact is, each guitar has its own vibe, its own thing, but yet the same quality and craftsmanship is in every single thing they build, every guitar that they build. So I can tell you this: I have not ever bought a used Carvin or Kiesel guitar, but I can assure you I wouldn't be afraid to, because I know, just like I said, buying guitars off their in-stock page, you kind of go, well, I don't know really what I'm going to get, but I sure love the guitar already. And then when you get it from the FedEx truck, man, and they bring it to you at the door, you're going, well, I just bought this off a website. I hope I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember in the '80s. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No. I just said every one of them I bought, brother. I love them all.
Yeah, I remember getting the Carvin catalog back in the '80s when
Me
it would
too.
have the guitars, the PAs, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the guitars, thinking to myself, "My God, they are so gorgeous looking."
Yes.
But I didn't know. At the time, back then, I was afraid to buy something that I wasn't able to put in my hands first and try out.
Well,
But,
I'll put it to you this way, guys. I believe so much in the Kiesel family and being a part of the Kiesel family that I have told people on Jeff Kiesel's Facebook Live, on my own live, and obviously pre-COVID and post-COVID. But I've told people, I'm like, look, if you live on the East Coast and you're coming through Virginia, you stop by my house anytime. You can play any of my Kiesels or all of my Kiesels if you're on the fence about buying one. So,
Wow.
everyone watching, if you, once this COVID mess gets over with, stop by Johnny's house in Virginia and you can play all my Kiesels. I'll just turn the studio loose to you. Have fun.
I'll take you
How's
up on
that?
that offer.
How's that for an invitation? Taylor 315 with the super chat. Outstanding show, guys. Thanks for answering my question, Johnny. I think a Kiesel will be my next purchase.
Brother, well, you won't go wrong with the Kiesel guitar, and you just tell Jeff and the boys Johnny sent you off, Ned says. I mean that.
And Taylor 315, thank you for the super chat, Dave, and I really appreciate that. A 64 T-Bird, Johnny. What do you do about the nerves? Do you have a routine that you do prior to a show, or is it absolutely nothing to get up on stage?
Well, I tell you what, boys and girls, the truth of the matter is, I have more worries nowadays about hand cramps and stuff like that going on stage. But I always have told every magazine I've been interviewed in and everybody that's interviewed me over the years, a handicap really can be a blessing in the long run. Because how can you be nervous or scared to go on stage when you can't see past the front row?
That's true.
True?
I mean, even for people that don't have eye problems or eyesight problems, when you're on a stage, you can't see anyone, past the first or second row anyway, even if you got great eyes.
Man, when I played with George Clinton in P-Funk in North Carolina, man, in front of 120,000 people, I felt them. I didn't see them, sure felt them.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
So, yeah, you can't get nervous when you can't see, folks. That's the truth.
Well, there you go.
And if I ever do, I just call it the hillbilly jitters, and I just get over it.
Shall we get on to the next song?
Sure,
Yes,
man.
sir. Rare Earth Tunes.
Yeah, here we go. All right, so my first impression of that song, first of all, that's a killer song. One of my favorite songs, and it may even be my favorite song on the record.
Oh
And
wow!
my first impression of that song is the D to the B flat over D, D over B flat. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
D over B flat, then D over C. That chorus part is very reminiscent of George Lynch. It's a very George Lynchy riff, not the same sound, of course. It's a lighter sound. It's a more of a, for what lack of better words, more, if it's not country, but it's just not as heavy on the guitar. But that riff itself, that chorus riff, is very George Lynch, and that is so cool.
Well, man, I happen to love George Lynch, man. We're buddies, and of course, done the Dallas Guitar Show many times. But honestly, guys, there's two reasons that this song came about. First thing is I had just bought this guitar off the Guitars in Stock page on KieselGuitars.com. This is the Kiesel Theos. And it's a nice, really, real pretty flame top. But look at the wood in that neck, boys.
Wow.
That neck is insane. Now this one, Dave, has got the new GT headstock for Kiesel. But I really, really fell in love with this. Plus, it's a raw tone, so it's not gloss finish. It's kind of a raw finish. And cool. But I fell in love with this thing. Here's the back cover. Just absolutely beautiful, man. And
so is that ash? The back, is that ash?
Yes, it's swamp ash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I gotta say, boys, actually, if you're asking me about Walker and Williams, that's one of those straps. I don't know if you're seeing that.
No, can you show this? Can you turn it a little toward? Yeah, you go.
There you go. Beautiful. Yep.
Yeah, that's
very nice. Love the stitching on that.
Yeah, man, they make beautiful stuff. But here again, more affordable, but the leather is intoxicating. I love it.
Nice.
So this guitar was one of the reasons that I wrote that song, because I had just gotten this in off the FedEx truck, and on top of that, I started working with an amazing company called Earthboards. And I wish I had a way to turn around and show you guys this Earthboard. I just don't have a way to turn my camera around. But I would love to show you guys the pedal board I used in this whole entire record. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I can't turn the camera. So,
Johnny, there's a couple of questions, comments for you. Janice asked, is this album available in a physical format?
Unfortunately, no. It is only available digitally. And this is the first time in my whole career I have not had CDs printed for this album. And that's not to say we won't down the line. It's just when we put the album out, we just didn't have them printed. So, frankly, man, when I did my new gospel album, Picking for the Lord, and the Christmas CD with Brother Blake, we really haven't moved a lot of actual physical discs. We were selling a lot more of them online. So that's the reason I didn't invest in actually buying CDs this time.
There you go.
But
Brian
again,
Spalding. Yep.
I'm a nut for CDs, brother, so I may get them printed before you know it.
I still like CDs too. I still like physical format as well. Brian Spalding says, amazing, Johnny. Your style is so tasty, fun, and grooving. Also, like how you take chances and play on the edge, breaking rules here and there.
Oh, I sure try, brother. I think a lot of those happen from almost making a mistake and going, whoops, but something real cool happened out of that. And it helped me write my song, So happy accidents actually can turn into wonderful things.
Amen to that.
That's for sure. Cool. But yeah, the folks at Earthboards, guys, they made me a Johnny board that is, like I said, I wish I could just figure out a way to show you this. But essentially, all my pedals fit down to the board on magnets. So you don't pull your guts out trying to get Velcro, up off an old board you've had built for years. So every pedal now is sitting on a magnetic boot that sits down on the board, and it's just absolutely incredible. And so I wrote that song actually for the Earthboards company. The name of the company is Rare Earth Music, And so I said, well, I'm just going to write them Rare Earth tones and thank them for this board. So that's how that song came about.
Yeah, I've seen
Cool.
your board on your Sunday show, and
Yes.
man, it's nice.
It is
Your
real
boards,
fun.
you have more than one, correct?
Actually, I have the Johnny board, which is like a probably 12.5 by 22, maybe 23.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have their 1020, which is just a little baby fly board that I've got 5 pedals on.
Right.
But the cool thing about Earth boards is you don't need really to have a Voodoo Lab or any other power supply. The magnets actually power this board for you.
That's insane. That's
Wow.
insane.
But now I am a Voodoo Lab boy. I have been for over 20 years. They've been a company I've endorsed since 1999, 2000, somewhere in there. And so honestly, I said, look, guys, I appreciate you building me a Johnny board, but please don't make me take off my Voodoo Lab. I just can't do it. And they said, no, you go ahead. And I said, look, I'll use your battery pack and the magnets on the 1020. And they said, okay, cool deal.
Mhm.
So
Very cool.
I
Yeah,
got
I
my
have
big one.
I have the Voodoo Labs Mondo on underneath my board,
Yeah,
and it's
buddy.
great.
Mondos, but on this board I'm using the Pedal Power 2 Plus,
That's what I'm using.
Yeah.
Too. Yep.
and I'm running
Very
about
cool.
let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pedals, and one, of course, that giant TC pedal.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep,
So the next song is KT Kicker.
written
we
for
go.
KT himself.
Got it.
Here we go. Wow. So the solo section that you would call the bridge, that just before the actual guitar solo,
Right?
is super powerful.
Well,
Super,
thank
because I thought that could have been a guitar solo in itself.
you know, guys, I'm going to be honest. KT Kicker is the hardest instrumental I have ever written. No lie. I say that wholeheartedly. I was to the point at which I was almost willing to say, with no tablature and no song even out, when the album first came out, I'd give the first guitar player $100 that actually played it on YouTube. But I was like, man, I'm not going to put anybody through that. That is a very painful song to get through.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is. It'll hurt to pause, I'll say that. But Brother Kenny Thurman is worth it, man, because without him between Kenny Thurman and my loving wife Kimmy, I wouldn't have any of the studio stuff to have all this fun with. So I thank them both dearly, and of course KT loves my chicken picking, and how could I do a Johnny Hiland record without having a chicken picking song on there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of chicken picking on every song. Just depends on the genre.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But that was just in your face from start to finish, flat out chicken picking. And by the end of the song, the chicken's real angry.
For those of you in the chat that don't know what the name of the record is, it's called the Chathem Sessions, and you can get it on iTunes and Apple Music and pretty much anywhere that music is sold these days, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. And the next song is called Lonely Days, and let's check that out right now. Another amazing song.
That's another Kenny Thurman original right there, boys.
Boy, just the greatest. I have a question. When you're doing the bending from, it looks like you're starting the bend and then coming down. On those, are you doing any of that behind the nut, or is that all just like that? You know, is that?
You're basically pre-bending the bottom note.
Pre-bending, yes.
Yeah, you're pre-bending and you're just holding it there until you execute the other part and then let go of it.
Okay.
And it's I kind of describe those licks to students as it's like the hinge on a door. And you know, like when you have a screen door on the like I grew up in a trailer home, man, and the screen door, you could have that little, I don't know if it was a wing nut or what it was, but you can hold the door open. But when you're a kid, man, and you pull that thing back and slam your fingers in that door, ouch! Mm-hmm. So to me, those bends are kind of like that. You're the hinge on the door, and you're just holding it there until some little kid walks up and goes, psst, and all of a sudden their finger goes, you know, you're the door smacking their fingers, you know.
Right.
Or jamming their fingers, I should say. So it's a pre-bend, and sometimes it hurts to hold them up there, but boy, they're sure worth it when you let go, man, because just like with David Gilmour, as amazing as he is, tension and release is really, really important when you're creating music. Mm-hmm. So you want to build somebody up and keep building the tension and building the tension and building the tension in your solo, and then and let it go. And so those bends really enable that to happen when you're creating a solo.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
But yes, another Kenny Thurman original, boys. I heard him sing it, and I said, boy, I got to cut that one. I'm sorry. You need to let me take it and run with it. And so he did, man. He was so kind to let me cut that one too.
Mm-hmm. Christopher Davis says, man, that's a real tearjerker for sure.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, brother. That's a fun little tune right there. It's you know, just don't have any lonely days, man. If you do, you just listen to that song and it'll pick you up.
There you go.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that beautiful red guitar that you have, the one that your main squeeze.
Oh, that girl's upstairs, brother.
Oh, she is? All right. Never mind.
Yep.
Never mind.
But
All right, so
now basically she's just exactly like the Silver Sparkle, but she's red and she's raw toned and she does not have the roasted maple neck.
well, okay.
So that would be the Johnny model you get for $17.99 right now on KieselGuitars.com. And guys, for a USA custom built guitar, you're not going to find a better T-style on the planet for that price. USA made. You're not going to do it.
That's very true. That's very true.
And they
Now,
are the bomb diggity.
Now listen, I know that you're a Kiesel endorsee and you love them, but do you have any other guitars that you love that's not from that company?
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I've got a wonderful little collection. But you know, boys, after all these years of playing, I only have about 40 guitars. After all my life, 45 years, I only have 40 guitars.
That's a nice number. That's what I got. I got that here.
You know, like you know, Vi and all my other friends are all 300-400, 2,000-3,000. You know, but
Sure.
I just could never accept a guitar from a company that even just loved my playing, with the exception of a few. I got a few Charles Whitfield relic tellies that I love. But then again, man, I mean, it was like that whole relic thing was really big for a while there. And then obviously when Kiesel built the Johnny Hiland model, which pays homage to tradition, but still gives you that new factor, the lock and tuners, you know, the radiuses that you can get from them, actually you can get a Johnny model with a Kiesel trem in it, which how many T-style guitars can you get a trem in these days, you know? So with the modern amenities that we put on the Johnny model, man, I was just, I mean, hands down sold, man, when Jeff, you know, allowed me to design the guitar of my dreams. We did it. We truly did.
That's cool.
But yeah, I've got my grandfather's old 1939 J35 Jumbo, and I've got a 1968 D35 Martin that I love, and of course, nothing really in the vintage world though, as far as like old Fenders or nothing. No, I never really collected any old ones like that. But but my Kiesels are my main squeezes, boys, and that's no lie.
Now, have you played any like Blackguard 50s, early 50s tellies that you fell in love with that you just don't have?
Absolutely, brother. I mean, but the thing is, man, Charles Whitfield in Kentucky built me a relic that feels just as good as any 58 or, you know, my favorite year tellies were 53 and 58. And to be honest, man, he built a combo for me that, you know, there was a combination of a 53 and 58. And I love that old telly, man. I mean, well, I say old, it's pretty new. He built it for me in like 2013 or 14. And, but it feels like an original old 58. But here again, boys, I'm not going to lie. Since I got my Johnny model, I haven't picked up any other guitars because now being a part of the Kiesel family, I have no interest in any other guitars simply because of the craftsmanship, quality, and the most amazing family. And I say that wholeheartedly. I'm not saying that because, oh, well, Johnny's an endorser. He's going to say that. I'm saying that wholeheartedly. I literally have fallen in love with every Kiesel guitar I own, and I just can't help it. It's the truth.
It's very cool. It's great that you're able to say that.
Yeah, yes. Man. It is. And I'm not going to lie to anybody. I mean, I've had my day of playing some amazing guitars, old vintage ones and new ones. But as far as I'm concerned, what I'm looking for in a guitar and what allows me to create my music and be the artist I want to be, I don't think any company in this world could do any better than what Kiesel does for me. And that's why I'm going to be with them till I die or till Jeff Kiesel throws me out.
Well, you know what I respect mostly from what you're saying is you like what they do for you. You're not actually trying to sell guitars for them. You're telling us what they do for you personally, and I commend that. I commend that.
But you know, Dave, it's not only that, brother. I think a part of being an endorser is literally being true to everybody that you come in contact with. If I didn't firmly, fully love Kiesel guitars, I wouldn't be just yammering on about them. I truly believe and love every one of these guitars so much that they're literally a joy to talk about. The family is literally a joy to talk about. And the thing I love about the Kiesel family is if you buy a Kiesel guitar, you are a part of that family just as much as I am. So endorsers don't stand on a big, pedestal. It's anyone that buys a Kiesel guitar is a part of this big, amazing family. I'm just proud to be a part, and that's the truth.
That's very cool.
That is cool, John.
So it's total honesty, boys. Nothing held back.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, the next song is called Tight Squeeze.
Another great title. Somebody had a title. I want to give them credit for it, Johnny. The Hillbilly Jitters needs to be a song title.
It is.
Okay.
Mike Henderson and the Blue Blues.
There you go.
Mike
Well,
Henderson.
here we go.
Yeah.
Tight Squeeze. Here we go. That's
cool.
great. That's just
Now, boys,
wonderful.
I gotta tell you where this song comes from. It's funny. I had actually called this song. I was angry one day, and I had written this song and I recorded it, but my system went down on me or something happened, and I was madder than a midget with a yo-yo. Man, I was just mad, and I gotta be honest. I was so doggone mad that I called the song "Break It Off or Let It Fester." As we get ready to put the song titles on the album, it was funny because literally the town that is right next door to Chatham is called Tight Squeeze.
Really?
There you
That's
go.
where we go grocery shopping. That's Tight Squeeze is it's actually a part of Chatham, but it's like its own little separate town, and it's called Tight Squeeze. And so Kimmy said, "You realize Tight Squeeze is two separate words?" And I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah, that's how they spell it up here." But the funny thing about it is, guys, when we first moved to Virginia, and actually way long before that, when I first met Kimmy, what was funny is when we come up here to Virginia, I was noticing all the names of the towns. Of course, you got Gretna, Alta Vista, Lynchburg, Danville, but then you got Climax, Tight Squeeze, and I'm going, man, who named these towns anyway? But I'll be honest, man, Tight Squeeze, that name came from Kimmy actually hearing that song and saying, man, that's what you ought to call that song, Tight Squeeze. And so I have to give Kimmy credit for that because she blurted it out and I used it. So there you go. That's how Tight Squeeze was done.
Very cool. Good job, Kimmy.
Nice.
Joshua Jones said, you should always endorse products that you love. Agree with Johnny. Joshua Jones is a great guitar player himself. I saw some video of him play this week.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive player.
Josh is
Well,
great.
man, I'll tell you what, brother, I appreciate you saying that, and I want everybody to know, too. Sure, I can, I've endorsed so many great companies over the years and been so blessed to do so that I'm sure I can sound like a salesman. But the fact of the matter is, all I can say to anyone that's on the fence about a Kiesel guitar and you just don't know if you dare to buy one from the company direct, where you don't get to play it, come by Johnny's house. I mean that. Or all I will tell you is just buy one. You won't stop at one. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
They got
You heard
your
it from
favorite
Johnny. Tadpole,
And
did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that.
Just buy one. That's all it takes. Then you're hooked. I look at Kiesel guitars like great fishermen, man. They got me hook, line, and sinker. That's all I can say, boys.
Awesome.
That is
Awesome. So the next song is called Funny Business. And today with Tadpole here. And those eyes that you see,
Yep.
those are not painted on. Those are actual scabs left from the surgery. That's why I call them Tadpole.
wow.
And you can actually, well, maybe you can't, but most people can see a little bit of a smile on there between the two eyes too, where the
Cool.
stitches used to be. But Tadpole, funny business. All right, here we go. Did you have
Great
Benny Hill?
melody.
Did you have
Great
the
melody once again. Great
Benny Hill
melody.
show on your mind when you wrote that?
Well, I'll be honest, boys. It's funny, man. A lot of folks that know me real well know that I love, Kimmy's like, Johnny's the most gaseous guy in the world. He loves farts. Fun stuff. So my dear friend, Mr. Rick Bowman, actually bought me this little box for Christmas. Just, something you buy at Spencer's or where. I don't know where he found it. But, you've seen those red boxes and they say different things as you push the little buttons on them.
Yeah, I have one of those.
This one just has like a fart and a burp and like a, oh yeah, and, a girl going, whatever, stuff like that in it.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got me that gift for Christmas, I had so much fun with that thing that I said, man, I want to write a cool Western swing piece, but I want to write it around this. So but then again, though, I thought, man, how am I ever going to play this song live? I'm going to have to feed my band beans or something before we play it, I'm like, how the heck am I going to do that? But no, it's such a fun little tune, man. And like I said, guys, you have to have fun with your music, or why play, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I just thought, man, I'm writing this for Mr. Bowman. It was just supposed to be a fun little thing before Christmas last year, and or just after Christmas last year, and it just, honestly, Ty, I'm like you, brother. I love the little melody I wrote so much. I said, well, I have to put this on the album.
I love
And
it.
of course, he's like, "You're not seriously gonna put all them burps and farts and shit on that album." And I'm like, "Well, I can't help it, babe. I love the little tune. I got to." So
That's very
that's how
cool.
Funny Business came about.
That's cool. Pooh Ninja says the swing fart dance chart. Love
There
it.
you
Yeah.
And by the way, how do you put that on a chart anyway? How do you read that on like a music
Well, you know
sheet?
what I did, boys. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Nashville number system when you write your chart, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I put, see, it's a 6 chord that starts a song. So it's an A6, and then it just chromatically walks down to G and then back.
Mm-hmm.
So on the chart, I wrote A6, Eero, G6, and then I put the exclamation point, the little swish sign, like the hat,
Yeah.
like the like the cartoon
Sure.
or something, So that's how I did it.
That's very funny.
That is cool.
Very funny.
I love it. I mean, I love it. It's jazzy. It swings. It's it's different. Brian said it reminded him of Les Paul. I agree. I mean, it does have that flair to it.
Definitely Western swing with comedy to it.
Well, and I think knowing Les and loving him, man, Les is really the guy I thought of. So thank you for saying that, my friend. I really, really adored my relationship with Les. I mean, he was one of the guys that would call me and say, "Hey, kid, tell me a dirty joke," and I'd have to have one for the moment, So that's the kind of relationship Les and I had, and so like same with Noki Edwards. Noki'd call me up, "Hey, I got a good one for you." "Oh, good, because I need another one to tell Les tomorrow." "Oh, good." And it was, and I think, guys, really, if I had to really think about what is most valuable to me in the music business is obviously the great friends and people I've gotten to work with, but also to become friends with a lot of my heroes. Having Les Paul know your phone number and just call you, out of the blue to ask you to tell him a joke, and then Noki Edwards from the Ventures to call you, and I was really good phone buddies with Ronnie Montrose, man. We talked on the phone a lot.
Wow.
Just to have those guys as friends like that, it's what a dream come true for, that would be.
Not to mention Sammy Hagar.
And Sammy Hagar, and, but I think what's so amazing, man, is I never get a chance really to talk to Sammy much, or, like Neil Sean or Steve Vai, or, but it's funny. It seems like Tom Bresh and Noki Edwards and Les Paul and, a lot of the guys that really paved the way for us to do what we do, why they called me, I guess it's because I told jokes and
Well, hell, you're just easy to get along with. Look at this.
Yeah.
We're on this computer here for over 2 hours, and I can't get enough of it.
Well,
It's not.
Noki Edwards, man, he'd look at me and he'd look at anybody. If we were signing autographs after a show, he'd look at me and go, "This kid can fart on command." Fart for him. That a boy, good one. That's just Noki, man, and it's just he'd call and just want something fun. And we had those kind of fun relationships when we were on the phone with each other, just having fun, goofing around. And then if we did share a lick with each other, great, But it was more about joke telling and having fun. And I think really when you look at it, guys, it's when you're faced with being in the music business, there's a lot of stressors that go on around you. So to have friends like that would call and want to share a joke with you or something, it was always a great stress reliever and a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to be fun that went along with the stress of the industry.
Yeah.
And actually, to add to that, guys, I think that's why this record means so much to me too, because it wasn't about part of Johnny's record deal, or it wasn't about I have to have this into a label by a certain date, or this album was literally made by me and created by me having fun, learning how to engineer myself. And I literally took you guys along for the journey and for the ride, and now this album is here. Now, granted, you didn't get to see all of the cussing and fussing and, learning how to do things and can't see nothing and standing up with my nose on the screen. So y'all didn't see all of that part, but you did, and you are right now getting to experience the fruits of my labor and the fun that I had in doing all of this. So I think that's why this album means more to me than anything, because it's all of me that I can offer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that part of it.
Well, we love it too.
I'm so
It's
glad.
art. Yeah, it's art.
The next song is called "What in the World."
This is the last one.
Hey, Johnny the
Great
Hiland
title.
Dude. What in the world?
The Chatham Sessions. Man, what a great record. It's been a long time, and I'm not just saying this because you're here with us and because you're my friend. It has been a long time since I have listened to a record from front to end and enjoyed every song.
Oh man, thank you, Dave. Well, boys, on that song was written from my dear friend David Hughes. He's actually a truck driver, and met him on a cruise, believe it or not. And we have become dear friends. And he always would say, he'd always call me in the morning and, Johnny the Highland Dude, what in the world? And I said, man, I'm going to call it What in the World. And so I did it on this guitar.
Oh, very cool.
Yet another Kiesel. And boys, I'm going to be honest with you. I sold my 57 reissue Gold Top because of this guitar.
Oh,
No
wow.
kidding.
Yes, I did. This guitar is the bombdiggity.com. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I think the reason that I fell for this guitar, I actually told Jeff Kiesel the day I played this at the factory when I was there visiting, I said, man, I said, I want this guitar so bad, dude. I said, I am willing to sell my R7 for it. And I did. Because this guitar plays like a dream. And for guys that grew up loving, a Telly and a Strat style guitar, the knob layout on this is more for us. There's not 4 knobs, there's just 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I love about this guitar is I can pull the tone knob out and go into single coil mode and do a full Johnny Hiland chicken picking gig with an LP style guitar. Pretty incredible.
That's amazing.
Very nice, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on solo for a second. I'd like us to all see that guitar a little closer.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, that's beautiful flame.
She is a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. She really is.
Beautiful.
That's very nice.
And she's all black on the back, but she is a beauty, man. I'll tell you. Actually, here's the headstock, folks. You can see it.
That's very nice.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is a really, really cool guitar. I have absolutely loved. I'm not really much of a single cut kind of guy in this regard, but I played an R7 Les Paul a lot in sessions. And I will be honest, man, I kept missing the back two knobs all the time in the middle of sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I actually played this guitar at the Kiesel factory, I said, Jeff Kiesel, I said, I am willing to sell my R7 to get this guitar. And that's exactly what I did. Now, granted, if Les was still alive, I'm sure he'd kick my butt from here to next Tuesday. But
I bet you he wouldn't. I bet you he wouldn't, because he's the kind of guy. He was the kind of guy that would be like, play what you love.
well,
Play
and to be,
what you love.
it's funny because every time I got a chance to play with Les at the Iridium, you know what he'd always say to me? Damn it, kid, you come out here to whoop my ass and you brought the wrong damn guitar again. I'll tell you, the second time I played with him, I brought a PRS. And he said, boy, every time you show up here, you got the wrong damn guitar and you just want to whoop an old man's ass. Of course, I love that man so much. Such a great, gracious man. And like I said, if it weren't for Les Paul, man, where would we all be today?
Mm-hmm.
Multi-track recording, and of course what he did for the electric guitar, my gracious.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
he was so humble and so kind, and honestly, I just so blessed that I was able to be friends with him. But I think you're right, Dave. I think he'd be like, hey kid, you play what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also, multi-track recording. How about delay? How about echo?
Oh,
Without
man.
Les, there'd be no delay. No delay pedals on your pedal board. There'd be
Right.
nothing like that.
That's exactly right, brother. It's incredible. I mean, really haven't given that any thought in quite a while, but you're very right about that. Well, I'll tell you another thing that really freaks me out about this guitar, guys, is you really can't see it because of the light, and you won't be able to see it on camera. But the way they did the back of the neck, it feels like it's tongue oiled.
Oh,
And
cool.
of course, the body joint, or where the gloss stops, is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on a regular, Les Paul, you're not going to get that tongue-oiled feeling neck, which I'm used to, and then have it morph into a gloss to where you can't even feel the seam. I mean, that's what blows my mind about the craftsmanship and quality of a Kiesel. I mean, just little things like that you wouldn't really take notice of, but leave it to the blind guy. I find the thing that makes me most crazy about falling in love with a guitar is something like that. So, but yeah, this baby is just a sweetheart. She really is.
Beautiful guitar.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
I'm
Yep.
really proud of her, girl, but she did this song for Brother Dave called What in the World, and so I had to bring her out and show her to you.
Awesome. Beautiful stuff. Johnny, we really appreciate you coming on here with us and letting us have this little record release party for you, and letting everyone hear your songs or parts of your songs. Now they can go out and get your record.
Man, I hope they do go pick up the Chathem Sessions, Dave. And, I think what I need to do, boys, before we get off of here is just finish with my secret weapon. Can I show you guys what the secret weapon of this whole record has been?
Sure.
Yes.
Please do.
I'm going to share it with all of you.
This should be fun.
The secret weapon of the whole Chathem Sessions record. Of course, I didn't get to show you guys my bass, but...
Oh, you can still show it to us. You can bring that out if you like.
Well, I may here in a moment, but I will... I have to share the secret weapon of this whole record, guys, truly. Sorry, my snare drum's rattling. This right here, boys, is the secret weapon to the Johnny Hiland Chathem Sessions record.
609?
It's in the 906, right?
The Sennheiser 906.
906.
This little microphone pretty much recorded everything with the exception of, the drums plug in, but every guitar track, when I had the mic acoustics, everything that I needed was Sennheiser involved. I just swear by Sennheiser mics. I love them. But this little 906 has been my go-to for a long, long time. In fact, it was the only microphone that I ever use live nowadays, but I also got to where I only use a 906 in the studio as well. So, and of course, I had to have one for when I did the Chathem sessions. So, this is really the secret weapon to where my tone comes from. Because people say, well, man, it's the amp and the guitar. And some people say, no, it's his fingers. But you know, when you play an electric guitar through an amplifier, you got to be able to put it into the system somehow. So the microphone really is one of the most important keys to creating your sound. So everybody out there, there's the secret weapon.
Very
That's
nice.
Yep.
That is the
Very
truth.
nice.
Very cool.
Of course, I do have to thank all the folks at Sennheiser and, of course, Kiesel, Elixir Strings, Earthboards, you know, all of my amazing endorsers. I swear, guys, I've been the most blessed man through the last 20 years. But, you know, in all honesty, guys, I was inspired by all the amazing gear and the wonderful things that you know, that I get blessed with as an artist every day of my life to use them. But really, it's every one of you guys and everybody watching that makes me continue to do what I do. It's because I love everybody and I just want to pass my music around and have fun. And really, as much as I've been in the business, signed to record deals and done this and that, and played on other people's records and been very blessed, I think now more than ever in my life, I'm having the greatest fun I've ever known. And so for that, I give the most thanks to Brother Kenny Thurman and, of course, you know, Keith Driver for writing great songs. And, of course, my sweet, darling Kimmy girl. I don't know how she puts up with me, boys. I swear to God, I don't.
Yeah, when you have a good woman that puts up with all your crap all the time,
it's incredible.
It's really an amazing thing.
It's incredible.
It's an amazing thing. I think all three of us have that.
Yeah, man, and isn't that a beautiful thing? Because, you know, I mean, guys, there's been mornings I've been down here with an amp cranked up, just ripping it, and she's upstairs trying to work. And never says a word. Just, you're sounding good down there, baby. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because I'm creating something and it ain't sounding right. But she always is, you know, full of encouragement and full of, you know, she drives me just as much as the gear or anything else. She's just such a sweetheart and an amazing, amazing wife. So I'm thankful, guys, that we all do have that. That's an amazing thing.
You're absolutely right.
And, of course, the love of the good Lord above for blessing me with just being able to play and have fun. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm now started working with a company called HSP, where we're going to be taking this kind of clinic-style thing with Brother Kenny and I next year, giving handicapped kids the chance to try to record from home on their own and learn how to do it via our clinics. And so we're going to start working with HSP next year and get some kids involved in learning how to do this and have fun. And the fact that mom and dad can do it for them and not have to remortgage the house to do so.
Awesome.
So,
that's fantastic.
We're starting to work with handicapped kids more next year and really excited to be with HSP in that. And so got a lot to look forward to, guys, but I hope everybody goes out and gets the Chathem sessions. And
we
boys,
do too.
I'll tell you, I thank you so much for your support. And make sure all you folks that are watching, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you need to do so immediately.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. We love you, and again, we'd love to have you on whenever you like.
Well, brother, I thank y'all so much. And, you know, good old country boy, man, from Chathem, Virginia now, I appreciate the support more than I can even say to you guys. I really do, and it's a blessing to be able to get on here with you. So,
well, it's an honor. It's an honor for us to have you, Johnny. Thank you very much.
That's absolutely correct.
Pleasure.
It's an honor to be your friend.
Oh, likewise, brother. And if anyone's watching and would like to have a lesson with me, or you got any questions at all from tonight, or you want to just, you know, write me and tell me how much you love Dave and Ty, you can do that. All you have to do, Hiland, HILAND 007 at Comcast.net. I'd love to hear from you, answer questions. if you want a lesson or you want me to track a song for you, because me and Brother Kenny are doing that a lot these days. All you have to do is drop me an email. I'd love to talk to you, and I just thank you all for your continued support. It means the world to me.
Take a
Absolutely.
lesson with Johnny Hiland. That would be amazing.
If you want to see Johnny playing live, you can check out his live stream every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his Facebook channel.
Johnny Hiland.
And that's right. He plays for you. He talks to you. And if you ask him a question, he will answer your question, which is amazing. Not everyone does that. So please check Johnny out.
And guys, make sure you go to KieselGuitars.com or call 858-GUITARS.
There you go.
By one Kiesel, you'll be hooked. I promise.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think we're going to say goodnight. And we'll see you all next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. Johnny, thank you so much for being with us. Ty,
Thank you, Johnny.
always a lot of fun working with you.
Thank you, Dave.
Tadpole, you did a great job. Thank you.
Tadpole rocks, man.
Tadpole. Hopefully he'll turn into a frog one day. All right. Well, good night, everyone. Johnny, stay with us. We'll say goodbye off the air, and we'll see you all next week.
Good night, all.